When you think of fatal naval disasters, you likely think of the Titanic, Pearl Harbor, or Germany's sinking of the Lusitania. And while those were tragic, an even deadlier ship explosion took place on the Mississippi River. The SS Sultana was built in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1863. It was 260 feet long, and it was designed to carry just 376 passengers. In April 1865, shortly after the end of the Civil War, the ship was contracted by the Union to transport Union prisoners from Confederate prisons back to the North. In its first journey from the North to the South and back again with a shipload of Union POWs, the ship began to experience some problems. On April 23, 1865, the Sultana docked in Vicksburg, Mississippi to address a leaky boiler, the heart of a steam-powered ship like the Sultana. The captain, J. Cass Mason, was eager to secure a very lucrative government contract and wanted to stay on schedule, so he opted for a quick fix rather than a proper but time-consuming repair of the leaky boiler. After deciding to essentially ignore the leaky boiler, the captain loaded the ship with over 2,000 passengers, which was more than 5 times the Sultana's intended capacity. On April 27, 1865, disaster struck. It was 2 a.m. and the ship was 7 miles north of Memphis when the leaky boiler exploded, starting a chain reaction and exploding 2 other boilers. This explosion started an uncontrollable fire and destroyed almost half the boat. Many passengers were killed instantly by these explosions, some killed instantly by the explosion, and some killed by the scalding hot steam released from the boilers. Any survivors of the explosion jumped into the Mississippi River, which was on the verge of freezing temperatures. Another ship named the Bostana arrived almost an hour after the explosion, but at this point, many survivors of the explosion had already died of hypothermia. Bodies were found months after the incident, and an estimated 1,800 people lost their lives, almost all Union soldiers who had just gotten out of a Confederate prison days prior. The official cause of the explosion was determined to be mismanagement of water levels in the boilers, a problem made much worse by the overcrowding of former soldiers. In the end, no one was held responsible, but some historians speculate there was bribery and corruption involved in the ship's unstable conditions. While tragic, the Sultana's explosion received little news coverage at the time, as it was overshadowed by Lincoln's assassination and the end of the Civil War. Today, the tragedy still remains largely undiscussed, and you won't likely learn about it in your high school history class.